We're back now with late-breaking news. The woman convicted of murdering Mexican-American music star Selena has been denied parole.
Nearly 30 years after the tragic death of Tejano superstar Selena Quintanilla, a surprising new chapter unfolds. Yolanda Saldívar, the woman convicted of her slaying, is breaking a decades-long silence through a provocative documentary series. Why now, after all these years, is she revealing alleged secrets that have stunned Selena's family and reignited public debate? This revelation raises intense questions. Is this a genuine attempt at truth, or another painful disruption to a grieving legacy? As emotions and memories resurface, the world is once again drawn into the compelling story of friendship, betrayal, and heartbreak that changed music history forever. Yolanda Saldívar's new documentary. At age 64, Yolanda Saldívar has stepped into the spotlight once again, nearly 3 decades after the slaying of Tejano music icon Selena Quintanilla. Through a newly announced documentary series titled Selena and Yolanda, Secrets Between Them, Saldívar is breaking a silence that has long gripped fans and the singer's family alike. This bold move has stirred shock and anger, reopening wounds that many hoped had begun to heal. Questions swirl around why Saldívar would choose now to revisit a chapter marked by tragedy and betrayal. The timing of this revelation is particularly striking as it coincides with Saldívar's upcoming parole hearing, adding layers of controversy and renewed media attention. Selena's family and millions of devoted fans have reacted strongly, viewing the documentary as a disrespectful attempt to profit from a painful past. They argue that this project distorts the truth and dishonors Selena's memory. Their condemnation reflects deep distrust and a refusal to accept what they see as an opportunistic narrative. Saldívar defends her decision by claiming the public deserves to know the truth and the secrets she alleges to possess. She insists that her documentary will shed light on aspects of the story previously hidden from view. Despite this assertion, many remain skeptical, questioning what new information can possibly emerge after so many years of legal proceedings and public scrutiny. The documentary will feature Saldívar's family, who possess documents and recordings that prove to be crucial for understanding the actual events. The family's involvement raises further suspicion about the motives behind releasing this material now, especially since this evidence was not presented during the original trial. The series demonstrates a major defect because it presents history through an artificial lens that prevents an accurate understanding of actual existing facts. Public opinion is divided, with some curious to learn what Saldívar might unveil, while many others reject any resurgence of her voice as reopening painful wounds. The documentary serves as an unwanted interruption for Selena's supporters because it brings back memories of the violence that ended her life and professional journey. The situation creates a serious ethical problem because it questions whether a slayer should receive attention for their knowledge or whether it serves to benefit others through their pain. Saldívar's emergence rekindles memories of the brightest rise and darkest fall in Latin music history. The story challenges every person who knows about it to rethink their entire understanding of the situation. The public must pay attention to her statements because they indicate her interest in Selena's legacy, which continues to bring her both fascination and pain. The development contains a legal aspect. Saldívar's parole hearing serves as an essential point in time, and the documentary will affect how people see him, which may lead to changes in the parole board's decisions. The ongoing situation maintains high stakes because Selena's past experiences continue to manipulate his present existence. Yet, what exactly does Saldívar reveal? What are these so-called secrets? And how does her renewed public presence affect those who loved Selena most? The questions create an atmosphere that attracts people while making them feel disturbed. The answers promise to unfold as we dig deeper into the life and legacy of Selena Quintanilla. Before we explore those revelations, it's essential to understand who Selena was, her beginnings, her rise, and the promise that made her loss so devastating. Selena Quintanilla's early life. Selena Quintanilla was born in Lake Jackson, Texas, into a family that would come to shape her destiny and the landscape of Tejano music. As the youngest child of Marcela Ofelia Quintanilla and Abraham Quintanilla Jr., She grew up in a home rich with musical influence. Remarkably, her birth was attended by Ron Paul, who would later become a U.S. congressman. A detail that hints at the extraordinary path Selena would follow. Raised as a Jehovah's Witness, Selena was nurtured in a household that valued both discipline and artistry. Her father quickly recognized her musical gifts, noting that her timing and pitch were flawless, even at 6 years old. This talent was cultivated as the family performed together, often in humble settings like restaurants and street corners, a testament to their dedication amidst financial struggles. An old tour bus, whimsically named Big Bertha, became their mobile stage as they chased their dreams. Selena dedicated time to her career despite having demanding work obligations, which made it necessary to suspend her education. Her father removed her from formal schooling after the 8th grade because he believed her growing fame required her complete attention to her show business duties. The decision raised educational concerns, which teachers believed would harm her overall growth and health. Selena achieved her high school equivalency through business studies, which she completed via correspondence and university courses because she wanted to understand how fame affects business operations. In the mid-1980s, Selena started her first recording career with producer Quintanilla, who served as her brother, brought together her unique musical style through his guidance, which helped her succeed in a male-dominated Tejano music industry. Her father required her to learn Spanish music before she could perform English-language songs because he believed this would help her develop a loyal audience. The insistence proved successful because she achieved high status in the music industry by winning Female Vocalist of the Year awards for almost 10 years, while she broke through musical boundaries for Latin women artists. Her breakthrough was established through the combination of her natural abilities, her appealing personality, and her ability to connect with different cultures. Selena built her connection with her audience through her energetic stage performances and her ability to connect with people. The project evolved into a musical experience that developed into a social movement because Selena became a national emblem for Mexican-American heritage. By 1990, she had become a widely recognized public figure through her triumphs in music and her ability to sell out concerts while she pursued ambitions that extended beyond her first musical style. The demands of fame, family relationships, and business problems created an overwhelming burden for the individuals involved. Selena built her dream empire, which combined her extraordinary abilities with infinite possibilities. The short duration of her impact created a legacy that continues to inspire people through generations, because her untimely death created the deepest emotional suffering when her dream disappeared. As we revisit these early years, it becomes clear how much was at stake and how complex the relationships around Selena would become, including the one with Yolanda Saldívar. Yolanda Saldívar's role in Selena's career. Yolanda Saldívar's entry into Selena's world was initially as a devoted fan, transformed over time into a trusted aide who played an increasingly central role in the singer's career. Born in San Antonio, Saldívar's feelings towards Selena began with envy, sparked by the singer winning awards that had eluded Saldívar's favorite Tejano artists. Yet everything changed after attending a Selena concert with her niece in 1991. There, captivated by Selena's charisma and vibrant performances, Saldívar became a passionate supporter. Eager to contribute, she founded a Selena fan club in San Antonio with Abraham Quintanilla Jr.'s reluctant approval. As president, she was responsible for managing the fan base and merchandise, a role that introduced her to Selena's inner circle. Over time, she developed a relationship with Selena and her family, meeting the singer herself by the end of 1991 and gradually becoming a trusted figure. Saldívar's dedication won praise. By 1994, the fan club she managed counted over 8,000 members. Quintanilla family members saw her as efficient and loyal, and Selena herself came to depend on her. Saldívar's commitment deepened as she quit her job as a home nurse to focus full-time on managing fan club activities, signaling her shift from admirer to business partner. Her growing influence culminated when Selena opened 2 boutiques with salons, both managed by Saldívar, starting in early 1994. The family entrusted her with financial control, giving her access to bank accounts, check-writing privileges, and an American Express card for business expenses. Saldívar's work duties expanded because she became Selena's business representative for all of San Antonio, which connected her directly to Selena's business operations. The relationship lost trust after its initial period, which led to both sides experiencing their first conflicts. Employees reported Saldívar's erratic behavior and mistreatment of staff when Selena was absent. The organization faced financial problems because its bills remained unpaid and its sales data became untrustworthy. Selena experienced difficulty deciding between trusting Saldívar and believing her family because she thought Saldívar would stay loyal to her. The conflict increased between the two parties, who operated behind the scenes. Saldívar developed jealousy towards business advisor Ricardo Martinez, who started working with Selena. Their relationship suffered intense damage because Saldívar demonstrated excessive control tendencies while stealing company property. Saldívar showed loyalty to Selena through her actions by making her room a Selena shrine and saying she could not exist apart from the singer. Selena's home and her travels became accessible to her, which established a complicated relationship between them that included both love and control. This relationship, rooted in admiration but shadowed by conflict, was key to understanding the tragic unraveling that followed. The unfolding events turned from trust into betrayal for Yolanda Saldívar, but his actions showed how trust had transformed into betrayal. The subsequent events would create a complete upheaval for everyone who took part in the situation. Behind every rise is a shadow, and for Selena, that shadow was cast by someone she once called a friend and trusted deeply. Warning signs and tensions. As Yolanda Saldívar's role in Selena's life deepened, cracks began to show beneath the surface of their relationship. Employees at Selena's boutiques started voicing concerns about Saldívar's behavior, describing a two-faced personality, kind when Selena was present, but harsh and dismissive behind her back. Some staff members were fired without warning, causing the workforce to shrink dramatically from 38 employees to just 14 by late 1994. These troubling signs painted a picture of instability and mounting tension within the business. The financial problems created enormous difficulties in the situation at hand. The boutiques experienced financial difficulties by December 1994 because they could not meet their payment obligations, while their funds were vanishing without explanation. The staff discovered missing receipts together with suspicious financial activities. Deborah Ramirez, who worked as Selena's cousin, joined the company to develop its Mexican operations, but left soon after realizing that sales data was reported incorrectly. The short employment period of Ramirez showed how management at Saldívar's controlled system operated. Selena's family became more worried after they saw staff members complaining about operations and discovered financial misconduct. Abraham Quintanilla Jr., Selena's father and manager, warned his daughter to be cautious and questioned Saldívar's trustworthiness. Selena wanted to believe the best about her close friend, which made her reject her father's doubts, who she thought would protect her. The family system faced difficulties because two different views of the situation existed, which resulted in postponed major decisions. Saldívar had a dispute with Selena's team members, who included fashion designer Martin Gomez. The two parties exchanged accusations about their financial management practices and their destruction of original design materials. The conflict reached a stage where both parties presented their issues to Selena, who found herself between the two parties. Saldívar made secret audio recordings to gain evidence against Gomez, but he used this strategy to prove his point to Selena, which intensified their internal conflict. Throughout this period, Saldívar's demeanor oscillated unpredictably. On one hand, she carefully cultivated an image of devotion, decorating her room with Selena posters and displaying a nearly obsessive admiration for the singer. On the other hand, she exuded possessiveness and control, excluding Selena from other employees, claiming it was to protect her from the boutique's daily dramas. This controlling streak foreshadowed more serious fractures ahead. Her business trips to Monterrey to open a new Selena store marked another phase of tension. Saldívar threatened factory seamstresses by demanding their loyalty, which resulted in some workers quitting their jobs. Her behavior became increasingly hostile while she used deceptive tactics to push others away from her. Her jealousy over Selena's friendship with new advisors, including Ricardo Martinez, created a bigger gap between them. Selena showed real support for Saldívar, even though there were many warning signs about Saldívar. She appreciated the affection and attention Saldívar gave and often defended her despite warnings from family and staff. The trust Selena placed in Saldívar made the eventual betrayal all the more shocking and painful. The tragic events that followed this situation developed because of the three emotions, which included loyalty, jealousy, and suspicion. Abraham found Saldívar's financial misconduct when he discovered Saldívar had forged checks, which resulted in over $60,000 missing from the fan club and boutique accounts. Saldívar did not deny or provide any explanation during the March 1995 confrontation that followed this discovery. The situation had transformed into definite evidence, which showed that the woman who received absolute trust from them had betrayed their trust. Selena's family chose to end their relationship with Selena after her family learned the truth. The process of removing Saldívar from Selena's life experienced obstacles, which showed how difficult it was to handle the emotional conflict at the core of this narrative. The mounting tension and betrayal created a dangerous undercurrent, a shadow looming over Selena's final, fragile days. The tragic final days. The last days of Selena's life were marked by a tragic blend of hope, fear, and betrayal that few could have foreseen. After confronting Yolanda Saldívar about the missing funds and mismanagement, the family banned her from contacting Selena, hoping to protect their daughter and business. Yet Selena remained hesitant to fully cut ties, still trusting that Saldívar played a crucial role in managing financial documents needed for their growing business, particularly in Mexico. The Saldívar investigation shows that her actions became more severe during March 1995 when she bought a gun together with hollow point ammunition to defend herself, but her true motive was much more dangerous. The reports confirm that Saldívar tried to establish private meetings with Selena multiple times because she wanted to end their ongoing disagreement through direct contact with Selena, who initially refused her requests. The meeting at a motel on March 31st reached its terrifying peak during this event. The parties entered into a conversation about missing documents, which included allegations of abuse that Saldívar claimed to have experienced before the encounter turned into a violent situation. A maintenance worker heard a muffled sound followed by frantic screams, and eyewitnesses saw Selena running for help, pursued by Saldívar wielding a gun. Selena died in the motel lobby after she received a shot to her back. Selena identified her attacker by saying his name when she died. The music icon died at 23 years old. The world reacted with shock to her sudden death, which ended her rising career and created a legacy that contains everlasting sadness. The police standoff, which lasted 9 hours, began when Saldívar tried to take her own life after she shot someone. She received life imprisonment after her arrest, but her parole eligibility starts after multiple decades. She continues to assert her innocence because she believes that the shooting, which resulted in her conviction, occurred because of an unintentional emotional outburst. But most people who heard her explanation do not believe her story. The emotional fallout from those final days rippled through Selena's family, fans, and the music industry as a whole. A rising star was silenced too soon, with grief compounded by betrayal from someone once trusted implicitly. This tragedy underscored the devastating consequences when trust turns to treachery. Through it all, Selena's memory endures, celebrated for her talent, influence, and the indelible mark she left on music and culture. Yet, the pain of her loss and the complexity of her relationship with Saldívar continue to provoke reflection and new questions, even decades later. As the story of these final days unfolds, the deeper motives and lingering emotions behind the tragedy come sharply into focus, framing the context for the revelations now making headlines. And when trust shatters so completely, the echoes last far beyond the moment. And for Selena's loved ones, that echo still resounds. The trial and conviction. After Selena's tragic death, the legal system moved swiftly to bring Yolanda Saldívar to justice. The evidence against her was overwhelming, from forged checks to eyewitness testimony placing her at the scene of the shooting. Throughout the trial, The prosecution portrayed Saldívar as a jealous and manipulative figure whose actions were motivated by greed and obsession. The defense, however, argued that the shooting was accidental, the result of emotional turmoil and misguided love. The trial was among the most widely publicized in Texas history, drawing intense media attention and deeply affecting Selena's fans worldwide. Testimonies from family members, employees, and bystanders painted a vivid picture of betrayal and tragedy. Selena's father detailed the discovery of embezzlement and the cautious attempts to sever ties with Saldívar before the fatal encounter. Witnesses recounted the terrifying moments at the motel, describing Selena fleeing for help before collapsing. Saldívar took the stand to give her account, maintaining that she never intended to harm Selena. She claimed the gun discharged accidentally during a struggle and repeatedly expressed remorse. Yet, her inconsistent statements and the weight of physical evidence undermined her credibility. The jury was left to assess whether the shooting was reckless or premeditated. Ultimately, the jury found Yolanda Saldívar guilty of first-degree slaying. Her sentencing to life imprisonment reflected the severity of the crime and the profound loss felt by Selena's family and fans. The sentence underscored that justice had been served, but the emotional wounds lingered long after the courtroom drama ended. Saldívar was also given the possibility of parole, scheduled decades into the future, setting the stage for ongoing debates about forgiveness and punishment. The trial's results brought about important thinking about the themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the destructive outcomes that result from personal envy. The death of Selena became a warning about the hazards that arise from trusting others and allowing obsessive behavior to dominate one's life. The ongoing prison period of Saldívar has resulted in continuing arguments regarding his accidental death claims, which generate different public opinions. People showed two different reactions to the verdict because they felt both relief and sorrow. The fans who supported him through his struggle found closure when he received his conviction, but their sorrow remained. The ongoing analysis of her slayer's reasons and psychological condition brought new elements to Selena's legacy. The trial, together with the subsequent conviction, served as a central element that people used to study the relationship between celebrity status and systems of justice and loyalty. The case brought about major changes that impacted Selena's closest relatives beyond its legal aspects. Her family faced two simultaneous issues because they needed to mourn while they dealt with the complete difficulties of the criminal justice process. They worked diligently to protect Selena's legacy while they faced the harsh realities that the trial revealed. Saldívar's ongoing imprisonment after several decades serves as a permanent reminder of how Selena's death transformed both her life and the existence of her loved ones. Her recent choice to return to public speaking has generated new emotional reactions and controversies that extend beyond previous boundaries. The echoes of that courtroom and prison walls resonate today as new claims ignite fierce debates over who should control the story of Selena's life and death. The controversy over the new revelations. Yolanda Saldívar's emergence from decades of silence through a documentary project has sparked intense backlash, particularly from Selena's family and her devoted fan community. For many, the reaction is rooted in lingering grief, deep distrust, and the conviction that this new effort is less about uncovering truth and more about reshaping public perception. The timing of the documentary's release, coinciding closely with Saldívar's parole hearing, has only intensified suspicions that the project may be motivated by personal interest rather than genuine reflection or accountability. The family of Selena has publicly denounced the documentary, which they consider to be an exploitation of their tragic experience that resulted in their lifelong suffering. The investigation and trial, which took place more than 20 years ago, provided complete evidence about the circumstances that led to Selena's death, according to their view. The introduction of the story through promises of undisclosed information about untold secrets creates emotional distress for them without delivering actual new insights. For them, Selena's musical legacy, her cultural contributions, and her ability to make people happy, millions should define her legacy instead of what the person who slayed her did. Social media platforms and public forums have become channels through which fans express their agreement with these views. The documentary serves as an unwanted reminder which brings back memories of a catastrophic event that occurred in music history, according to many viewers. Selena represented far more than entertainment. She symbolized identity, pride, and possibility for many in the Latino community and beyond. Some supporters believe that giving a platform to the person convicted of ending her life shifts focus from Selena's accomplishments to the tragic event. The people who oppose Saldívar's claims show two main problems with his two discoveries. They doubt his discoveries, and they doubt his timing for presenting them. People who watched the case develop over 3 decades now question why the authorities did not bring forth evidence that the case was considered major to the initial court hearings. People believe that existing evidence would have become available during the trial period and through appeals and public discussions that came before this moment. Saldívar's family members, who claim to have documents and recordings about Selena's death, create additional uncertainty about their situation. The public questions their authenticity because their participation started to show doubts about their timing. Critics want to know why important materials remained hidden for such an extended period. The revelations that they promised to deliver remain unknown until independent verification authenticates their content. The discussion about media ethics and public memory extends beyond the existing dispute between the two parties involved. Historical understanding reaches its highest point through the examination of all available viewpoints, according to some people. The practice of displaying a convicted person's identity to the public creates a risk of making violent acts into spectacles, which distract from the actual experiences of the victims. The media functions as a complicated instrument that determines the public remembrance of tragic events throughout different periods. The people who know Selena best experience this situation as their most intimate concern. The family fears that the renewed media focus on Selena's crime will create a false image of her life and legacy in the minds of people who will live in the future. Their answer maintains 3 core values that protect the dignity of the artist who has achieved enduring fame through his work. The existing debate brings forth questions that will continue to exist about the nature of truth, the need for accountability, and the determination of who will shape future historical accounts. The discussion shows how Selena's life and death continue to affect people emotionally, while her family and fans work to preserve her legacy through her exceptional talent. And as shadows of the past darken new conversations, it becomes clear that Selena's legacy is as alive and contested as ever, demanding both remembrance and careful reflection. Legacy and public memory. Selena Quintanilla's influence endures as a powerful cultural and musical legacy long after her untimely death. Known as the Queen of Tejano music, Selena broke barriers as one of the first Spanish-speaking artists to achieve widespread mainstream success in the United States. Her vibrant performances, unique style, and heartfelt lyrics resonated across generations and borders, establishing her as an enduring icon in Latin music and beyond. Her final album, Dreaming of You, released posthumously just months after her death, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. This milestone underscored Selena's crossover appeal and the immense love her fans held for her. Even today, her music continues to inspire artists worldwide, reflecting both the depth of her talent and the cultural pride she embodied for Mexican-American communities. Beyond music, Selena's impact stretched into fashion and business. She was a pioneer in celebrity merchandise, launching a successful cosmetics line that paved the way for many Latin artists and entertainers to build their brands. Her 2 boutiques with in-house beauty salons were ambitions realized, symbolizing a vision that extended past singing to entrepreneurship and empowerment. The fans of Selena grew together through their shared love for her music, which connected them to each other. People honor her memory through tributes, statues, and memorials, while new generations learn about her through documentaries, films, and tribute concerts. The Hollywood Walk of Fame awarded her a star in 2017 to recognize her musical and cultural contributions, which continued to shape the industry 2 decades after her death. Artists continue to draw inspiration from her story, which includes Jennifer Lopez, who received critical acclaim for her portrayal of Selena in the 1997 biographical film that launched her career as both an actor and musician. Lopez has explained that playing the role of Selena provided him with two benefits that helped him understand Latino culture better while he worked in his acting career. The movie brought Selena's legacy back to life for people who did not know her story, which allowed her to remain a popular figure in contemporary society. Selena's legacy exists under various conflicting claims about its authenticity. The new documentary, which Yolanda Saldívar created after she received a life sentence for slaying Selena, has reawakened distressing discussions about how people remember events and what constitutes factual information and what should be treated with dignity. The situation creates disputes about who possesses the authority to narrate Selena's story and what methods should be used to maintain her memory between commercial goals and individual ambitions. Public talks about her legacy enable people to see her story through new viewpoints, which continuously develop. Her fans, together with her family, work to defend her memory while they handle issues of forgiveness and justice and closure. The contemporary media-centered society creates barriers that stop people from paying their respects to their most loved public figures. Selena functions as a beacon of optimism, which demonstrates her ability to overcome challenges. Through her music and personality, she provides strength to communities while showing them about their cultural heritage and the strength of their aspirations. The world needs authentic representation, yet Selena shows how one person can create significant change through their brief existence. Selena's story is one of extraordinary talent, heartbreaking loss, and a legacy that continues to inspire generations. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. And when this video ends, check out the next feature on your screen to keep exploring with us. Thank you for watching.